Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So, let's talk Assassin's Creed Mirage again. So, 100% completed the story, just working through a few of the little bits. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to 100% it and platinum it. I don't know whether I've got the time or whether I can be bothered. So, as we all know, this Assassin's Creed Mirage was intended to be a DLC for Valhalla, and then it's just expanded into its own game, and they said they were taking it back to the roots of the pure Assassin's Creed games like 1, 2, Revelations, all them, the old ones, the good ones. Not saying the RPGs aren't good, but they're good in their own different way. But that's what they said they were doing. They said they were taking Assassin's Creed back to its origins. Not to origins, but to its origins. And they've done it, but they've half-arsed it. So, like I said, I'm not going to go on about it again, but the art style for the characters just isn't for me in this. I don't know whether, like I said, I don't know whether it's the art style or it's rushed. I just don't know, but the characters just don't look as realistic as they did in the RPG ones. That's it on that, I'm not going to mention that again. So, going back to its origins, the base core of the Assassin's Creed franchise, which is stealth and assassinations. The stealth is a little bit better than in the RPGs. It's not perfect, and then again neither were the earlier Assassin's Creed games. But considering that they made a big fuss about pleasing all the OG Assassin's Creed fans, and it was going back to the core roots of the Creed, you'd have thought, I mean, they were supposed to be improving parkour, stealth, and you'd assume they were going to improve the assassinations as well, but they just didn't. So stealth, like I said, is a little bit better than the RPGs, but not much. The parkour, now, with them saying they were going back to the roots and all that, you'd have thought that they'd have added a bit more to the parkour. It's not fluid, it's jumpy. Basson can't, you know, he can't just run to the end of a building and slide and drop down properly. It's just dead buggy. And the only thing they've added to the parkour is the pole across an alleyway thing, and the pulling stands down. Just reminds me of Need for Speed, that though, where you just crash into the scaffolding to stop blood. But I'm going off on a tangent, back to Assassin's Creed. For me, they could have, actually I'll go back a sec, for me, they have tried to change the game, so it doesn't just feel like what it is, a DLC for Valhalla. So what have they done to change it so it doesn't feel like Valhalla? Changed the buttons and made it worse. I preferred the buttons in Valhalla and the other RPGs. I don't like this one button thing. Your one button is your heavy and your light attack. You got a hold. I don't like it. So that's all it's done. And added the pole vault and the pull and stands down to make it feel like it's not just a DLC for Valhalla, which it was meant to be. The story, I can comment on the story now because it's finished. It's not the best. In fact, it's not just not the best, it's a disappointment. It's cohesive, do you know what I mean? It flows from one to the other, but by the time you get to the end you're like, What's the point in that? It's a barely average story at best, if I'm being extremely generous. It's a barely average story. I don't think they've changed enough, and what they have changed is minuscule. They've changed the buttons, they've added the pole vault, you can now pull stands down. Can you do anything else in new parkour? Did they add any new animations for the stealth kills? No, so you still feel like you're playing Valhalla. I mean, I half expected it to just feel like I was playing Valhalla, and if they hadn't changed the buttons, I'd have been happy with that, but then you've got to get used to all the new buttons. I like the way they've brought the old school weapons in, the blow dart, the smoke bombs, all that good stuff. I just don't think they've done enough to make you feel like you're playing anything but an expensive DLC for Valhalla. That's just my opinion. Like I say, the story itself, it's not a bad story. Do you know what I mean? It gets you from A to B, and that's about it. You get from the beginning to the end. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of the ones who wanted a smaller AC game. I think I'd rather go back to the longer ones. It took me what? A weekend to do it. For £50. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I could go through and platinum it and get all the little shards and all the different weapons and costumes, but it's like, what's the point? There's no new game plus, so you can't start it all over again with all your gear, all your darts, you're dead high up, so you can't just, you'd have to just start a new story on a harder level, and you won't have all your bits and all your skills. So, I don't know, some people might like it. If you're new to the Assassin's Creed franchise, and this is your first hit, then again, I'm not even sure whether this is going to hook new fans. It might do, but for the people who've been playing it longer, like me, I mean, I've been playing it since Assassin's Creed 1. It's going back, what, 15 years? 16 years nearly. They've tried to please the OG fans by giving us the shorter game. It's not this big, massive, open world universe. It's just Baghdad and the little outer regions of it. That's it. And they've tried to focus more on stealth and assassinations and parkour. And apart from the stealth, they've failed on everything. The parkour is as close as near as makes no difference. Do you know what I mean? They've added two things to the parkour: the pole vault and the pulling stands down. And that's not even really parkour, that's evasion. So they failed on the parkour. They failed on the assassination part of it because they haven't added no new animations. So unless you're a new player, you've seen this before. You've done this a million times in your 200, 300, 400 hours through Valhalla. You've done it. You've seen every assassination animation that's in this game. They haven't added one new one. Myself would have preferred them to be double bladed so you could do double assassinations, but that's just me nitpicking now. I'm glad I bought the game. I'm glad I've played it. But I'm also glad that I bought the physical copy, because it's not a game. It's not a very good Assassin's Creed game. It is, as close as makes no difference, just an expensive DLC for Valhalla. They changed the buttons to make you feel like you're not playing Valhalla. They haven't changed none of the animations for the assassinations, so you still feel like you're playing Valhalla. They haven't changed none of the parkour. They've just added, like I say, the pole vault. And if you want to class that as parkour, the pulling the stands down. I don't. I class that as evasion. But that's my opinion. I don't think it's a bad game. Don't get me wrong. And if you're new to the Assassin's Creed franchise, I think it's 50-50 whether you're gonna like it or not. If you've played the older Assassin's Creed, like if you're an old fart like me, who's been playing Assassin's Creed for 15 years since he was a teenager, then it's a disappointment, because of the reasons I've said. They've tried to make it an OG Assassin's Creed game, knowing that the people they're trying to please have been playing Assassin's Creed for at least 10 years. In most of our cases it's 15 years. We've played every Assassin's Creed game, every AAA, every side one. We've played them all. If you're new to the franchise, like I say, it's 50-50 whether you're going to like it or not. And that's a big misstep for Ubisoft. Every year there's someone new who joins the Assassin's Creed franchise as a gamer. And if this is the one, if this is your first Assassin's Creed game in the franchise, I do think it's 50-50. 50% of the people are going to hate it, 50% are going to think it's the best thing since sliced bread. To all those who think this is going to be Game of the Year, you are absolutely fucking deluded. Who is going to give an expensive DLC for Valhalla Game of the Year? I can guarantee you that's on to Spider-Man 2, but it's not getting Game of the Year. I can guarantee that. There is not a snowball in hell's chance Assassin's Creed Mirage is getting Game of the Year. Like I say, I was one of the ones who, when he said we're going to do an OG Assassin's Creed style game, I was optimistic. I knew there was still going to be microtransactions in it. I knew it was still going to, well, I didn't know. I was fairly certain that it was still going to feel like you were just playing an expensive Valhalla DLC. Sorry, just had to let me cover. So, where was I? Yeah, it's not getting Game of the Year. It's not getting kept by me. It'll be getting put in as trade when Spider-Man 2 comes out. Do you know what I mean? I downloaded Odyssey. I've still got that. I'll probably never delete it. What else have I got? I have got Origins and Valhalla. There's loads of other games there, but they're the Assassin's Creed games. I've got all the other ones are on all my older consoles, and they're all up in the attic. Everything from PlayStation 1 all the way through to PlayStation 4. Yeah, all the older ones are up in the attic with all my old consoles. But they're the ones I've got out here that I can play on my PS5. Is there anything else to cover? There is some cool outfits and weapons, I suppose, that you can get. But considering this was meant to be as close to grounded Assassin's Creed game as you can possibly get, you still got flaming swords I've been playing with a lightning sword, the sword of time, the dagger of time. You still got all the microtransactions for the outfits. Yes, I paid for the what is it, the Harley or something outfit. I'll put a picture of it up here. If you've seen my videos, you've seen it. The black and gold one. I bought that. It was like $7.99 because I thought I just the outfits were boring when you start the game, so I bought it. Anything else we can cover on Assassin's Creed Mirage? Nope. It's not a bad game. It's barely average. The story's barely average, if I'm being extremely polite. There's a few twists in it, but in all fairness, if you've been playing video games as long as I have, you'd expect these as soon as you meet certain people in the video game. I'm not going to say who it is and what the twists are, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone else. I've done that before and got some hella backlash off it, so I'm not going to do that again. So, should you buy Assassin's Creed Mirage? That is the main question for those of you who haven't already got it. If you can get it on sale, yeah, I would. But if you're going to be buying it on your PlayStation as a digital copy, unless it's on sale, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't pay £50 for that, especially if you're buying the digital one. At least if you buy the physical one in 2 or 3 weeks time when Spider-Man 2 comes out, you can take it in and knock some money off Spider-Man 2 for your PS5. That's it. I have nothing else to say about Assassin's Creed Mirage. I've block recorded all the videos. They're all sitting there waiting to get published, so they'll come out over the next week and a half. If you've played it, and if you've played it and you've only played a bit, this doesn't apply to you. But if you've played it and you've either finished it or got the majority of the way through the main story, let me know let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? Could you change more on the parkour to make it better, rather than just adding the pole vault? And like I said, if you want to class that as parkour, the pulling the stands down, could they have changed or added new assassination animations? And was it worth paying full price to get it? 50 quid. I mean, I think 3 days after it come out, it was down to 35 quid on sales everywhere on it, so says it all really. Anyway, this video was a little bit long-winded. I think we're just approaching 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut it here. That's my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Mirage. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. But if you disagree, don't just say you're chatting shit. Tell me you disagree and tell me why. Is this your first Assassin's Creed game? If not, is it just an add-on for Valhalla? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you in a bit.